Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. This Khandarth Nirnaya, we are talking about that, and Bandhan Govindacharya has written what is called Khandarth Chandrika, a kind of a commentary on this, and this is popularly known as Karma Nirnaya. And as we mentioned in the last session, where it is taken, what is the context and all that. So in Aitareya Brahmana, that is 16th Adhyaya, 3rd and 4th Khandas, the portion segments, that is the what is called Khanda Artha Nirnaya. So for those Khandas, the Artha is determined. That's why it's called Khanda Artha Nirnaya. And the context is, as mentioned in Madhva Vijaya. Actually, we'll see in a little bit more detail in that it's mentioned here. Some Panditas, they challenge Acharya, thinking that Acharya is not familiar with Yajna, Homa and all that. They ask to talk about these khandas, the particular ones in place, because that's actually the procedural thing. And since Acharya, being a sannyasi, is not eligible for performing yajnas, so he will not know much about that. So this is their expectation. So at that time, Acharya and the Sabha itself, he gives completely the interpretation for that. And also later Acharya thinks, okay, this will be useful for the generations to come. So Grantha form also he brings it out. Whatever has been told in the Sabha is brought out in the Grantha form. That is the context. So we saw खंडार्थवाद विषये बहवः पपक्खु केचित् पुनः कुमतयः पथेन चेरुः धन्याः कथंचिदपि साधित साधुमार्गाः श्री पूर्णबोध भगवत् करुणाकटाक्षैः. So basically, a lot of people kind of made fun of Acharya, and also he is actually expressing his personal experience and what he went through. And at that time, he says, so many people, they made fun of it, but by Acharya Madhva's Karuna Kataksha, people who are on the right path, they actually welcomed this. They kind of accepted this. So that's what he says. And then he is offering prayers. Yad adhitam tadadhitam yad anadhitam tadapyadhitam me yad puru karuna palataha tam vande madgurum madhvam. Basically paying respects to Madhvacharya, madgurum madhvam vande. I bow down to my Guru Madhvacharya. And yat puru karuna balataha tam madgurum madhvam vande. Such Madhvacharya. What kind of Madhvacharya? Because of his Karuna Bala, from this Puru means Purna, Karuna Bala, from that I am able to achieve something. What is that? Bannanji Acharya. Yad adhitam tad adhitam, yad anadhitam tadapyadhitam iva me. Certain things I went through, studied, acquired the knowledge about them. Certain things, they came like a prerana, spurana. Though I did not do any adhyena, specific adhyena, some things came as purana because of the grace of Madhvacharya. So basically, the experiences that he went through, and he felt that that's all because of the grace of Madhvacharya, and so he is doing namaskaras to Madhvacharya. That says, and then he mentions here, Aitareya Brahmanasya Sodashe Adhyaye Yau Trutiya Turiyau Khandau Tad Vyakhyaanaparam Khandartha Nirnayam Nama Madhva Krutam Upanyasam Kinchit Vivarishami Mude Vidusham Mude Vivarishami. I am, for the sake of the knowledgeable people, I am going to explain Kinchit, a little of this, mude, happily. What is that? Madhva Krutam Upanyasam. The Upanyasa, or the lecture, or the pravachana given by Madhvacharya. On what aspects? Aitareya Brahmanasya. In Aitareya Brahmana, basically, as you all know, Veda has four kind of a portions, every Vedic process, which is called Brahmana, Samhita, and Upanishad, and Aranyaka Upanishad. Basically, the Brahmana part deals with the procedural things. So in Aitareya Brahmana, in 16th Adhyaya, the third and the fourth khandas, they, as I mentioned, they ask for that, and Acharya as the Tad Vyakhyana Param, Khandarth Nirnayam Nama. So in the form of commenting on that, this Khandarth Nirnaya is done, because those are the khandas, or the segments of the Vedic segments, their artha, the right meaning, Nirnaya is done by Acharya Madhva. So that I am going to explain, and I am very happy to do that. So that's what Acharya Bannanje is saying. And then Yasya Kila Artha Visheshan Swadam Samutta Romansa. Roma is like a hair. Samutta Samyak Utta Romansa. Basically, haripulation, we call, the romancha. So that romancha happening when I am trying to explain this. So yasya kila artha visheshan, yasya of that segment of the Khandarth Nirnaya, artha visheshan kila means basically ascharya or ananda. The expression is mentioned, the skila, it gives me, what a joy, like that. Kila, swadam, very, swadu basically means tasty. Here the taste means actually very enjoyable. In that sense, swadam, very, very tasty or enjoyable, and giving me horripilations. Kinchit vyanji jishami. Vyanji jishami means vyakta, or expressing, desiring to express. Vyanji jisha is desire to express or explain. Vyakta, maduva ichhe, vyakt karne ki ichha. So why means Sri Madhva Madhavayoho Prityai. For pleasing Paramatma, Madhava and Madhvacharya. So Madhva and his Swami and everybody's Swami Madhava, for making them pleasing, for pleasing them. So here actually is very interesting thing. Why should we please Paramatma, and why will he feel happy with certain actions of ours? The reason is Paramatma is Dharma Swarupa, Dharma. So anything that is done in the form of enhancing or protecting Dharma, Dharma Rakshati Rakshita we say. So anything that is done as an act of protecting Dharma, because he himself is Dharma Swarupa, he is pleased. But pleased means extra happiness. But he is Ananda, Nitya Ananda Purna. So what does it mean by pleasing? Pleasing means he approves the act of the devotee, whatever the action is done, he is approving. That means granting the punya papa chintane is what we have to. If Paramatma is pleased means the person who does the act to please Paramatma is getting a punya. Paramatma is not pleased means the person is getting a papa. So something that makes Paramatma unpleasant means basically, so this, it's not that Paramatma is getting any extra happiness. He is Ananda Purna always. He has full happiness. So the act is not actually to please Paramatma means he basically to follow the proper path of Dharma. That is what is being mentioned here. So that's what it is. And then Venjisham Pritehi Sri Madhva Madhavayoho. And then he says, Vyachakshau iti shrunamaha. Vyachakshau iti shrunamaha. Khandartha Nirnayam Narahari Tirtaha. Shri Madhva Mukhad Adhigata Tattvaha Dadyat Sa Buddhi Shuddhim Naha. he is offering prayers to Narahari Tirtha and mentioning an aspect that Narahari, Shushruma, we heard. What did he? Vyachakshau iti. Khandarth Nirnayam Vyachakshau. Narahari Tirtha Khandarth Nirnayam Vyachakhyau iti Shrunumaha. We heard that Narahari Tirtha has written a Vyakhyana on this Khandarth Nirnaya. And he heard this Khandarth Nirnaya and its explanation directly because he is a direct disciple of Madhvacharya. So, Sri Madhva Mukhad Adhigata Tattvaha. The tattvas are understood directly from the words of Madhvacharya. So, Narahari Tirtha, having heard this from Madhvacharya, he wrote a commentary and Khandarth Nirnaya. So, Naha Buddhi Shuddhim Saha Dadyat. Such Narahari Tirtha, Naha to us, Buddhi Shuddhim Dadyat. May he grant us the clear intellect. So, basically, Banaji Acharya is saying that Narahari Tirtha bless him with Shuddha Buddhi or Buddhi Shuddhi or clear intellect. May he bless me, that Narahari Tirtha bless me and bless everybody. So basically offering prayers to Narahari Tirtha after that. And then he mentions a fact. Pranashta Tatkruta Tika Daurbhagyat Tattvavadinam Nayunyameta Nirmashtum Yatha Shakti Prayatyate. Basically saying that Tika, wonderful Tika that was written by him, is not available anywhere. So many things actually is our unfortunate or misfortune that so many Tikas are not available to us. So Pranashta Tatkruta Tika, the Tika that has been composed or written by Narahari Tirtha, it is lost. Daurbhagyat Tattvavadinam. It is the misfortune of all the Tattvavadis that we lost that. And he says, Nayunyam etat nirmashtum, to construct, etat, that tika, to reconstruct. Nayunyam, we are all not capable of basically reconstructing whatever is lost. Okay, let us also write something. Okay, it is lost. Let us write whatever he might have written. Keeping that in mind, let us write something, means it is not possible. Basically, this is also Vinaya Pradarshana also, he is saying that it's not possible to reconstruct and we are not capable of doing that. So it is our misfortune that we lost it. But Yatha Shakti Prayatyate. As whatever my capability is there, as per my capability, I'll make an effort to explain this whatever extent I can. So Bannanji Acharya is offering this prayer, and then he is saying, Ananda Titto Bhagavan Sporayattu Anisham Mama Rahasyam Mantravarnanam Durgamam Vidushamapi. Vidushamapi Durgamam Mantravarnanam Rahasyam Anandatittaha, Bhagavan Anandatittaha Mama Sporayatu Anisham. Anisham always, Mama to me, Sporayatu, Spurana, give the Spurana, give the understanding, give the striking of the meaning. The Lord, worship worthy Bhagavan basically is, Paramatma is Bhagavan. It is used for others also. And for Paramatma is Bhagavan is Shadguna Ishwarya Sampanna. It's completely there for Bhagavan. So, whereas for others, it is to a limited extent they are Bhagavan. So, even for an immediate Guru, we say Bhagavan. And Parikshit Maharaja, he addresses Shuka Maharshi quite a few times as Bhagavan. Bhagavan is basically, O Shadguneshwarya Sampanna. So that, but for others, it is as per their capability. Yatha Yogya, basically. So that's what it says, this Bhagavan Ananda Tirtha, may he give me, instigate me, give prerana to me for understanding this rahasya, secret, mantravarnanam rahasyam, the secret of the, because these are the mantravarnas that are there in the Aitareya Brahmana. For this mantras, Vidushamapi Durgamam, even for great scholars, it is not easy to understand them. It's very Durgama. So may Acharya, may Madhvacharya give me this blessing and give me the prerana, because he is Pranadeva's avatara himself, and to understand the secret knowledge that is present in the Mantravarnas, which is difficult even for great jnanis. So that's he offering, basically offering his prayers in all this. And then Atha Ataha Khandarth Nirnaya Vyakhyasyaamaha. So now let me try and comment on all this Khandarth Nirnaya Vyakhyana. And then he says, Katham Khandartha Nirnayaha. This Khandartha Nirnaya, how did it come about? Aitareya Brahmane Shodashe Adhyaye Turiya Khandasya Tat Purakataya Bhagataha Trutiya Khandasya Aitareya Aranyakecha Mahanamni Khandasya Yatra Artha Nirnaya Kriyate. The name he is actually explaining why it's called Khandartha Nirnaya. In Aitareya Brahmana, Shodashe Adhyaya in 16th Adhyaya, Turiya Khanda is 4th Khanda. The 4th Khanda is the main thing that they try to explain. They ask the question on 4th Khanda. Acharya gives the 4th Khanda has introductory aspects in the Tritiya Khanda also. So it will make a lot more meaningful if we take up a good portion of the 3rd Khanda and the entire 4th Khanda, and with this keeping in mind, Aitareya Aranyakecha Mahanamni Khandasya. And here in as I mentioned, Brahmana, and also there are other portions of Vedas or Upanishads which are called Brahmana, Samhita, and Aranyaka and Upanishad. So in Aitareya Brahmana, these are taken, and in Aitareya Aranyaka, Mahanamni Khanda. So Mahanamni Khanda, why it's called Mahanamni? Basically, Maha Paramatma's Nama and glory, it explains that. So it's, of course, everything explains that, but Prasiddha Nama, it's called Mahanamni because it's explaining the glory of Paramatma. So Yatra Artha Nirnaya Kriyate. So Artha Nirnaya of that is done. That's why it's Khanda Artha Nirnaya. Basically, 3 Khandas, and that is in Aitareya Brahmana, 16th Adhyaya, 3rd and 4th Khandas, and in Aitareya Aranyaka, Mahanamni Khanda. All this put together, Acharya is giving an explanation of that. Khandanam Artha Nirnayaha Atra iti. So, because it is Khanda, for this Khandas Artha Nirnaya is called Khanda Artha Nirnaya. And here it says, Purva Mimamsaka Nama Partha Khandana Purvakam. So, Purva Mimamsaka Nam Apartha Khandana Purvakam Yathavat Artha Nirnayacha Ayam Khandartha Nirnaya. Because what happens is, Purva Mimamsakas, they gave a kind of explanation for this. And so many other people also try to interpret and translate and all this. But whatever they have interpreted, Purvamimamsakas, that is apartha. So, Purvamimamsakanam apartha khandana purvakam. The wrong meanings that are presented by Purvamimamsakas, they are refuted and the actual correct meaning is given. So, yathavat artha nirnaya cha ayam khandartha nirnaya. So, that's why it's called yathartha. Yavat artha nirnaya. Yathavat, as it is. Yathavat means yatha, how it is there, the same way. So, yathavat means as it is, accurately, artha nirnaya is done. That's why it's called Khandartha Nirnaya. Karma Kandiya Khandanam yo arthaha mam vidhatte abhidatte mam iti vachanat Narayanakyah tasya nirnayacha. Narayana Panditacharya he actually explains this. And this is present in Karma Kandiya Khandana. These Khandas are called, actually they speak about the Karma Kanda. That's why, though Bannanji opposing, maybe he felt that there should be only one name and it should be Khandarth Nirnaya only. And we talked about, somehow I felt personally that Karma Nirnaya, the name that was also chosen by others, somebody can have two names. It's not that, okay, parents themselves, we also come across situations where parents name their children sometimes for some of the rare occasions, like even my brother has two different names, like that people come across situations where people may have multiple names that are given by the parents. So Acharya, who has written this, he might have given two names, Karma Nirnaya and Khandartha. So Karma Nirnaya name need not be completely refuted or taken away. So Karma Kandiya Khandanam yo artha. So the Karma Kandiya, the Karma portion of, as an example, is taken from this, and that is explained. And Acharya Madhva says, Mam vidatte abhidatte mam iti vachanat narayanacha tashaninayacha. Here, Acharya Madhva, vidhatte abhidatte mam, me, vidhatte, instructed, or it has been requested upon, and that abhidhana is basically means speaking about it. Vidhana is the methodology, speaking about the methodology. So somebody asked the question to Madhvacharya to speak about the true meaning of the procedures that are explained in that. Do they have just the procedures only, or do they have any deeper meaning? Acharya says, no, they are all glorifying Paramatma. So how they are glorifying Paramatma, what the meanings that we have to take, this is what they requested, and because of that, Acharya Madhva had gone about explaining that, and here Narayana Panditacharya, he mentioned this in Madhva Vijaya. So actually here the Madhva Vijaya slokas are quoted by Bannanje. So Kutaha Kevala Mesham Khandanam Shrunu Tatra Itihasam Tatha hi Sri Madhva Vijaya. So what the Itihasa, the actual events that happened, Itihasa means, of course, Mahabharata and Ramayana are called Itihasa because Asa. They happened like that only. Asa. That's why they are called Itihasa. Same way, the word etymological Itihasa means historical. What actually happened. So here the historical events that went about, that happened, that are reasonable, or that have become a reason for Acharya Madhva to write this. So that's actually he's quoting Tatahi Shri Madhva Vijaya. In Madhva Vijaya, 16th Sarga, from 41 to 45 slokas, Banaja Acharya quotes, actually in 46th sloka also. In other Vyakhyanas, they quoted that. So we can look at the Madhva Vijaya slokas 41 to 46 briefly, just to see how things went about, what actually happened, how Acharya Madhva went about commenting on this. So that we'll talk about in the next session. Hare Srinivasa. Any questions are there? You can feel free to ask. Hare Srinivasa.
In this work, this Khandartha Nirnaya, this is part of that Aitariya Brahmanadalli in that Khanda. So Khandartha Nirnaya is also an apt name, meaning in the hindsight, I think Khandartha Nirnaya is also an apt name because it is giving the Artha Nirnaya of that Khanda of in that particular Aitariya Brahmana.
Yes. Right? Yes, that's what Bannanja also says. Yes. Yeah, that's why he says Khandartha Nirnaya is a great name. Should. That is actually, very, very appropriate name. So there is no two opinion about that. Definitely there are no two opinions, and Khandartha Nirnaya is a very, very wonderful name, and probably that might have been most authentic name also. So I am just saying, though that is most authentic, this can also be, Karma Nirnaya can also be authentic. So basically that's so I am not saying it should be Karma Nirnaya only, not Khandartha.
But how did they derive the Karma Nirnaya word? How did, because how did this karma come into picture?
How that means actually Bannaji himself actually is referring that. He says whatever these khandas are there, they are karma kandas. So the khanda and kanda. Kanda means basically procedural thing. So khanda is part or portion. Kanda also has a similar meaning and it is a procedural thing. So karma kandiya khandana. So these khandas are speaking about the karmas that have to be performed during yajna kriyas, some yajna kriyas, the yajnas that are performed, how the karma is to be performed, what acts, the procedural thing. Karma is basically procedural. So karma kandiya khandana. These khandas are giving the procedure of the karmas to be performed in the yajnas. So that's why this, the questioning also, mischievous question. They didn't ask, see, there's nothing wrong. Somebody asked, okay, Acharya, can you please explain the meaning from that? They somehow wanted to show that Acharya Madhva is not Sarvajna. So to show that, they asked this thing in a mischievous way, thinking that Acharya Madhva will not know anyway. So, I don't know. This answer he will give, then we can make fun of him. Yes. So basically that kind of thing. Or maybe he'll give some explanation which may not be right explanation. So this kind of...
Karma Nirnaya, sorry to interrupt, but Karma Nirnaya word does not imply that I am making a Nirnaya of the particular karma to be performed. How does it relate to glorifying the greatness of God? Because Khandarth Nirnaya, Khanda Artha Nirnaya, right? The Nirnaya of Artha of the Khanda Bhaga, right? Karma Nirnaya, if you take, how does that refer to?
So I'm saying how the etymology will come or something, etymologically how is appropriate, is that what the question is?
Yes.
Yeah. For that, a good example will be, for example, Shaka Brahmanaha. Shaka Brahmana. There is a samasa if you take Shaka Brahmana. Shaka is vegetable. Vegetable Brahmana. What is vegetable Brahmana? Shaka Priyaha Brahmana, Shaka Brahmana. This is called Madhyama Pada Lopi Samasa. So you contextually, because what is a vegetable Brahmana? Vegetable Brahmana means Brahmana who likes the vegetable. So Shaka Priyaha Brahmana, Shaka Brahmana. Like that, Karma Kanda Nirnaya. This is Karma Kanda, right? So how the etymologically you can give the Vigraha Vakya, Karma Kandasya Nirnayaha, Karma Nirnayaha, Kanda Madhyama Pada Lopa. Karma Kandasya Nirnayaha, Karma Nirnayaha, Karma Kanda Nirnayaha is also a good name, but Madhyama Pada, Karma Nirnayaha means the Nirnaya of the Karma Kanda. Karma Kanda Nirnayaha, Karma Nirnayaha. Nirnayaha is conclusion or explanation or determination of the Karma Kanda, because those Khandas are nothing but the Karma Kandas. So that's why Karma Kanda Nirnayaha, Karma Nirnayaha. Kanda Madhyama Pada Lopi Samasa.
So the saints like Rayaru, Adirajaru and Tikarayaru use the Karma Nirnaya as their reference, title tara.
Yes. They use that, and all that's why Bannanji's gripe was, they did not get hold of this particular manuscript. So there could have been two different manuscripts. One with the name Karma Nirnaya, which manuscripts might have been used by Tikarayaru, Raghavana Swami and all others, and probably that manuscript got lost. This manuscript which has the Khandarth Nirnaya name, this manuscript might have been available. I mean, Bannanji actually has that manuscript. So because he got hold of this manuscript, he say, okay, this manuscript I have, so this is the only name that it should have been. But it's possible, since Raghavana Swami and Tikarayar and all, they have written commentaries on that Karma Nirnaya, so it might have been another manuscript that has the name or that bore the name Karma Kanda or Karma Nirnaya. So, and there the obviously it is karma kandasya nirnaya, karma nirnaya.
And but Benanja did not consider that argument. That's what you feel?
Yeah, see, Dhananjay did not agree. They say, okay, somehow those people, they just had some handwritten, whatever, something, and they did not have the name of it, and they gave the name Karma Nirnaya. And it's not right, because this has a correct name, Khandarth Nirnaya. Why call it Karma Nirnaya?
So the second portion of the argument is slightly weak. Yakadre now, you cannot just like write off them, right? Or Tikara or you cannot just like write off them saying
That's
they did not.
precisely the argument of all the scholars. They say, how can you just like that give up on all the other commentators, Tika Rayaru, and then the Tippanis, probably other commentators also might have written Tippanis on Tika Rayaru. All those people, how can they all be ignorant?
Has Sri Tika Rayaru written commentary on Karma Nirnaya Raghavendra Swami as well?
Yes.
Yes.
They have written.
So my feeling is, and this is me, having listened to Bananji Acharya also, Karma Nirnaya, the way you have explained, is probably a better title than Khandarth Nirnaya. Because the way I am thinking is, these Advaiti people, right, who were the Pandits at that time in Kasargod or wherever it is that they came out asking him, they were all Smarta Pandits. And they are dividing the Vedas into Karmakanda and Jnanakanda. For Jnanakanda, the Acharya has already written Upanishad Bhashyas, all 10 of them, according to them.
Yes.
They will call the Upanishad as Jnanakanda and they will call everything else as Karmakanda.
Yes.
So, the Acharya is saying, like how I did Rigbhashya, I am now giving you, if you are thinking there is Karma Kandasya Nirnaya, Karma Nirnaya, if you are saying like, because I didn't know the Madhyama Padalopi Samasa, it didn't register on me. So until you explained the Karma Kandasya Nirnaya, Karma Nirnaya, I was under the impression Khandartha Nirnaya would be a better choice. But now that you are explaining it as Karma Nirnaya, it seems like it's a very, very appropriate name because he has already explained 10 Jnana Kandas,
Yes.
10 Upanishad. Dash Upanishad he has already given meaning. Now he has to give meaning for Karma Nirnaya, Karma Kanda. Then he has to give Nirnaya for all the Samhita Patha and everything like that in Rigveda.
Yes.
Is this Aitareya Brahmana that Khandartha Nirnaya is following, is it in Yajurveda, Rigveda? Where is it?
Rigveda.
Rigveda, because Aitareya is
Ah.
Rigveda only, right?
Aitareya is Rigveda only.
Rigveda,
Yeah.
the
So then,
15th one is Mahanamni Khandartha.
yeah, what I'm trying to say is he has already written Rigbhashya, but that is only for the first few sections, right? Agnivile Purohitam and stuff like that for the first 40 rigs or so.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Karma Nirnaya is like entirely appropriate, right? Because people use this for doing various karmas.
Yes. Yes.
Samavartana, this one and that one and all. They talk about all of that.
Viharana Kriya.
Viharana, everything.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
Yeah, that's why for me, when I started also, for me, both the names looked great for me.
Yes. I thought Khandartha Nirnaya was the name until you explained this way.
Yeah. 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 Fully, in fact, the people who argue in favor of the name Karma Nirnaya, they bring that argument only. That Advaitis had this awareness.
Exactly.
That Jnanakanda, Acharya is very good in Jnanakanda. We have no way of defeating him in Jnanakanda. So let us try Karmakanda and there we can defeat him.
Yes, because he's a sannyasi, he is not doing any homas, any yajnas.
Yes.
How will he know anything about what karma mantras are?
Correct.
Yeah,
Correct.
But
Exactly.
the assumption is that, see, ನಮಗೆ ಆಚಾರ್ಯರು ಬರೆದಿದ್ದ ಪುಸ್ತಕಗಳ ಆರ್ಡರ್ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲಲ್ಲ.
Yeah, order we don't know, but still the context is actually the order we can gauge it because in Madhva Vijaya it kind of gives the kind of order because how the Acharya has written if we go through the Madhva completely, we do get a feeling about the order of it.
So I think in that case, the assumption which we are making holds good.
Yes. Yes. And also contextually, this actually happened in a place called Ujire near Udupi. In Ujire, this happened, which they call in Sanskrit as Uchabhuti. Uchabhuti is the Sanskrit term, and Ujire is actually the current name, and that's where this event happened. And there, the scholars, they thought, it's very difficult to deal with Acharya using Jnanakanda, or they have this division. Oh, this is Jnanakanda, this is Karmakanda. That kind of a division is there in their mind. We can't touch Acharya in Jnanakanda, let us attack him in Karmakanda. This is the attitude there.
Yatis don't do the...
Yati, they don't have Yajna Adhikara, Yajna Anadhikara. Yati, he won't know about it.
So argument, whatever the Advaita scholars have done, holds okay because you want to obviously.
Your voice is breaking a lot.
So
I don't know whether for others also it is breaking the voice or only for me. I don't know.
It is breaking. For me also.
What I was trying to say is, in terms of the strategy of Advaita scholar, it's okay because you want to Europe.
Yes.
For that, right?
Yeah.
So there is no harm in that. But
there's no harm. Not only there's no harm, there is a lot of good justification also.
The name itself, once you explain, yes.
Yeah. Okay. Good session, and we had nice.
धन्यवाद श्री केशवराव. साष्टांग नमस्कार.
साष्टांग नमस्कार केशवराव.
Namaskar.
Namaskar.
नमस्कार. हरे श्रीनिवास.
Hare Srinivasa.